Alright, hey, what's up guys? I'm doing a little impromptu live stream. Feeling a little better today. Just had my post-procedure appointment. So, hey, what's up guys? Hello. Oh, got a bunch of likes already. Hello guys, hello. What's up everyone? Alright. Oh, there's a lot of people. Hello guys, hello. See you guys' reactions there. Awesome. Okay, I think doing these stream, well, not just doing the streams, but I think turning the stream on at least 10 minutes earlier, or even more than that, I think is a good idea from now on, as it gets people settled as they come in, or at the very least they can get the notifications, and hopefully they can get the notifications on their phone, tablet, laptop, whatever it may be. But that's the reason why, if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and then once that subscribe button is, well, subscribed, it will change to the notification bell icon, and please click on that so that you guys are notified when I am live or when I have uploaded a new video. Okay, we're gonna wait another couple seconds here before I begin. I want to make sure everyone is getting their notifications. It's only been two minutes, almost 3 minutes now, since I just ended the stream. Whoops. Hopefully everyone's doing alright. How's everyone doing? Let me know in the chat. Okay, I think most people are most likely going to join either at 8 o'clock though. So, I mean, that's the usual time that I am live, that you guys always see me live. So, alright, let's just begin. So, first of all, right now, well, you guys see the the thumbnail of the stream and the title of the stream, right? The markets are confused, ... question mark, right? So, excuse me guys, give me a second here. Let me clear my throat here. Okay, so the reason why my thumbnail is like that, and also the reason why I titled this stream, is that, well, there's a lot going on. Okay, so let's first begin with the facts for tonight. Let me bring down the music here as well. Okay, so as reported from the energy department, and obviously Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, if you guys didn't hear, they lifted sanctions, oil sanctions off of Iran this month. And well, this easing and lifting of sanctions on Iran is projected to provide up to $14 billion to Iran, and that's about 10 times the amount of money that Iran received under the original Iranian nuclear deal that the Obama administration created in, I think, in like 2015, 2014 or 2015, if I remember. Yeah, it was 2015. 2014 was kind of the overall escalation of things in that area, and then eventually they're able to, quote-unquote, diplomatically form a resolution called the Iranian nuclear deal, the Iranian deal. And it's ironic enough because Trump has always said that the Iran nuclear deal that was what's the correct word here? I'm trying to say, oh, brokered. There it is. This kind of stalemate resolution under Obama was like the worst deal ever. Right here, he was saying that it's the worst deal ever, and he basically broke that deal apart, and he tried to make a new one but failed. Okay, and this is his new quote-unquote art of the chart deal, right? Absolute shit. It actually is. And basically, if you guys didn't read over the weekend as well, the Trump administration is basically demanding the same stipulations that the Obama administration worked on for months to broker this Iranian nuclear deal. They're using the same stipulations on Iran, and now they're demanding it after Trump decided to break it. So I mean, this is the same thing. It's the same shit over and over again, just like with NAFTA, right? Between Mexico, the US, and Canada. And he, quote unquote, made a new one in his first term. And then guess what? In his second term, I think back in like late January of last year or even early February, before he went on that tariff tirade, he said this new NAFTA deal has been absolutely horrible. And I think he forgot that he's the one that made that quote unquote made that trade deal with these two other countries, including the US. And so he called his own new NAFTA deal, okay, again, quote unquote new NAFTA deal, absolutely horrible. And I think he forgot that he's the one that made that new trade deal. So again, I'm just giving you guys some quick examples. That there's plethora of examples that basically makes his quote unquote art of the deal absolutely just shite, completely leaves everything in shambles. Usually, whenever Trump decides to derail something and tries to make it with this, branded with his own Trump name. So again, this has occurred with Iran. Now he's giving Iran even more money, right? In oil revenue, and it's absolutely crazy because it seems like the markets are not buying that crap anymore either. Finally, right? And actually, we did saw that last year too with that entire reaction off of the tariff tirade. And so, if you guys remember, the tariffs still aren't resolved. We haven't heard a single thing with tariffs, and it seems like more countries aren't willing to quote unquote get on the table with Trump, and Trump, that's what Trump wants, even though I know he's not going to get that. He's like a little baby, right? So it's extremely disappointing and crazy to witness in real time as the person with the most powerful seat in the world is continuously derailing the American economy, the American power globally, right? Just the overall, to put into the modern terms, aura of America, right? So we have completely said "fu" to our allies since last year, and now Trump is trying to ask their help, NATO, for help on the Strait of Hormuz, which is insane to me. Why would you think that they would help, right? Especially when we've been alienating ourselves from all of our allies and kind of shoving ourselves closer into the boots of more dictators around the world. I mean, we've already seen that in the first term. I even warned this about this back in November of 2024 when he got elected, that it looks like we're going to be heading towards more of a we're going to be allying ourselves with a lot more dictators around the world, because Trump loves dictators like Putin and Xi Jinping, right? So it's absolute chaos right now. What does all of this have to do with the current markets right now? Right now we're going to talk about the markets, because if we take a look at the S&P 500 futures, and if you know what happened after hours, Trump said America has won, right? But how have you won? Because Iran and Israel are still exchanging missile attacks with each other, right? And I believe a couple hours ago, some Iranian missiles hit Tehran, I think, or sorry, not Tehran, Tel Aviv. Tehran is in Iran. But so, you know, this isn't a ceasefire. I don't think there has ever been a ceasefire. I think Trump is just talking out of his ass again, like he usually does. He's still kind of in his tantrum mode, like a baby, and the markets aren't buying it so far. I mean, if it were true, if we were to see that the Americans, the American military has won in the Middle East, then we should be seeing a reversion of troops and all the military aircraft and ships that we have in the Middle East. We should be seeing them pulling out, right? But the Pentagon's current actions have been complete opposite of what Trump has been saying, because we've been seeing orders of the I think 82nd Airborne troops, I think, if I'm not mistaken. They have been ordered to be prepared to be transferred to Iran, right, for a potential ground invasion. And we've been seeing that news over and over again in the last couple of weeks. So, or in the last week alone, I think, right, last week and a half. So I think they're slowly buttering us up to eventually have a ground invasion, while Trump, on the other hand, is saying all these BS stuff online on his fake news social platform. It's not true social. It's not what that should be called. I mean, let's face it here, guys. Let's face the actual objective facts, right? He just lies all the time to make sure that his family members and his big, rich buddies around him are able to manipulate the markets and get in early before he announces something on fake news social platform, right? So, it's quite unsurprising to see, because I talked about this in 2024 in November of last year. So I knew we were gonna have a lot of chaos, especially in the American economy. But thankfully, the American economy continues to stay resilient, as it always has. But Trump is really testing the waters on that resiliency. And I think with all these current conflicts that are going on now, the markets are going to be confused even more. But once you get even more clarity as to what's happening in the Middle East, then the markets will realize the actual future consequences that we will most definitely have. I am 100%, even 1,000% sure that we'll have the consequences felt in the next year alone. And here's a great example if you guys don't believe me. Okay, so let's talk about fertilizers. Okay, so fertilizers. So let me actually pull up a chart here of MOS. Okay, we'll talk about LITE very soon. Momentum Holdings. I'm in a short position on this, but let me talk about it later. So MOS. Okay, this is a fertilizer company. It's a major one. Okay, so currently MOS has been sharply driven down, and I already explained this to my CFO Stream Watch Report readers and my private CFO Discord members. But due to the complete derailment of the entire Strait of Hormuz by Trump, thanks to Trump as well, and obviously everything that led up into this entire military conflict and war in Iran. Again, I just talked about the Iranian nuclear deal. Okay, so make sure you guys rewatch that again if you guys are in the live, or if you guys are watching the replay, go back to it and listen to what I said again, because it's very critical that you guys understand what I'm saying here. So due to the Strait of Hormuz still being essentially closed off due to, well, it's just a huge liability for any shipping container or any type of ship to move through the Strait of Hormuz, right? So fertilizer stocks have been hit hard. Initially, they had a nice big run up, right, as the conflict began and as news began to spread that the Strait of Hormuz was closed, but they began to free fall. Okay, and especially last week, and here's the reason why. Okay, so first of all, the markets are always moving to price in the short-term, mid-term, and long-term future. Usually in the short-term future, especially when we have very volatile price activity in the short-term time frame. And so, okay, let me actually bring it up here, guys, before I move forward. Yeah, so here it is. So this is exactly what I said, all right? This is word for word, right? I said, I think the most recent pullback here on fertilizer stocks, and especially MOS here, was reflecting the short-term offset of fertilizer supply against demand. If they're not able to afford fertilizer / get fertilizer, they'll just stop producing the usual amount of crops, leading to a drop in demand. Okay, so this is what we're seeing here. We're seeing the market in real time, right, pricing in that potential in the, I would say, around the midterm future, so around summer of this year, let's say. Okay, but once they need the fertilizer and demand picks up, there won't be enough supply to meet the demand. Okay, and so that's when fertilizer prices will absolutely skyrocket, right? And especially with farmers right now too, as we head into summer, we're about to see even more drought in the Midwest and the central states of the US, right? Where there's a lot of agriculture that goes on. Okay, I think California should be okay, but again, you guys I have to remind you guys, California's agriculture contributes a lot to the US economy and the overall agriculture industry, right? But I think California should be fine. But what really matters the most is the central states and Midwest states that are focused on farming. And again, this is what I've just told you guys here regarding the supply and demand and the supply shocks that we're seeing with fertilizer prices as well. It is a very elementary way of thinking about the current fertilizer situation, but I think this is a great way to summarize what will be occurring as we head into the summer months. And I think the markets will also realize that this very, very dire situation when it comes to food supply and potential food shortages in this country and even worldwide, and how it will affect the overall global economies, especially the American one as well, right? And so I think the markets will realize that as we head into quarter 2 and especially into early quarter 3. So please watch out for that. All right, now that was a very, very specific example here. Now let's broaden out our perspective here and talk about the markets here now, right? So currently SPY futures is still curling down. If it were true that Iran war was quote-unquote won, we should have seen a massive rally overnight, right? Who knows, maybe Trump might tweet again, right? He might post again, who knows, on his fake news social platform, not Truth Social anymore. Well, it has never been, by the way, but maybe he's gonna do it again in order to have his close friends and especially his family members, like his sons, to position themselves to be long, and maybe you might see a huge pump into tomorrow morning, or maybe during tomorrow's market cash session, right? So it's mayhem, right? And it makes sense the markets are confused, and so I also wouldn't be surprised if we end up opening up around the closing price, maybe a little bit over the closing price of today, right? So maybe we open up around $6,620 here on E-mini futures, right? So again, the markets are confused because, one more time, I'm gonna say one more time here, we have yet to see actual factual clarity on Iran, right? Especially as the US continues to help Israel, and also obviously Israel using US's military forces. That's an objective fact there, and also the clarity with the current lifting of Iranian oil sanctions, and the fact that the Trump administration has demanded the exact same stipulations that were drawn up by the deal brokered by the Obama administration under the Iranian nuclear deal in 2015, right? So there's no clarity on any of those subjects. So once that is clearly, concluded, I would say, once that is there has been an actual conclusion to all of those different subtopics, then the entire major topic of the Iranian war will be priced in the markets, and eventually, again, now here's a second point, right? It will lead into, now what should we be thinking about with the guaranteed implications and ramifications of this current war on the US economy. Okay, and that's where I think the markets will really start to price in the potential future ramifications and negative implications of this war. Does that make sense? Oh, then okay, yeah. I see you guys' your reactions there. Awesome, awesome. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome in, welcome in. You guys have kind of missed out on sort of, well, not sort of, I think probably one of the most critical information that I'll be giving to you guys tonight in the stream before I start looking into more of the technical analysis of all the tickers that I'll be going over tonight. But if you guys missed it, if you guys are just joining now, make sure you guys watch the replay. Okay, I'm seriously thinking that you guys really should remember what I told you guys tonight. Okay, I think it's very, very important that you guys remember what I've said from the beginning of the stream now all the way up into the end of the stream as well. Okay, so with that being said, the other futures market that I want to take a look at is VIX, market vol. Okay, so market vol barely had a nudge down. Okay, this is the VIX futures, right? I would have expected maybe even a huge gap down at open, but that hasn't occurred. So I just know that the markets are not buying into what has been stated so far and what has come out of Trump's mouth, because what the military is currently doing is completely opposite of what Trump is saying. And again, actions speak a lot louder than words when it comes to foreign policy, and especially when it comes to military intervention. So this is where things will get very confusing, right? Because, and also it will also solidify the thesis that I've had since I think like October and November of last year, that the VIX will have this magnetic attraction towards this value of 20, and it's just really will have this affinity to this 20 value, and most likely this 20 value is going to be used as a low value. And that's what we've been doing, right? We've been stuck in between this huge range of 20 to 30, right? We almost hit 30 here, right? I think the high was what? Yeah, 29.015 on market vol, on VIX futures here. So, and I think on VIX itself, during the cash session, yeah, we hit 35.30. Okay, so on VIX itself, we're hitting 20 to 30 range, right? And I think we're going to continue to stay in this range, which is going to frustrate both the bulls and the bears here. But again, this is the quote-unquote confusion that will eventually have to be priced in once we see an actual conclusion of the current Middle East conflict, right? And I think even not just VIX futures here, but let me even go over crude oil futures, right? So crude oil futures is barely down. Actually, last time I checked it about an hour ago, we were still in the red. We were at like 87. So we pumped right back up now, right? So even crude oil futures are not buying it, right? Especially after what I've just told you guys about regarding the Iranian oil sanctions that have been lifted this month, right? Which will again provide 10 times the amount of money that Iran received under the 2015 Iranian nuclear deal that was brokered by the Obama administration, which was, again, way better. But of course, Trump thinks he knows everything, and he broke that deal right apart and tried to make his own, failed, and then he decided to invade Iran with Israel. Not invade, but going to war. Well, I guess we may start to see an invasion very soon, based on how many troops that they're willing to build up there. But you know, they brought this conflict onto Iran because there was no deal, and now with kind of the pressure that Trump is facing from even his aides, right? His side-by-side aides. He's trying to make sure that oil prices go back down. He's trying to do everything that he can to manipulate the markets as well, but it's not working, right? And so now him and his entire administration is now reverting back to the same exact stipulations that were drawn up in the Obama administration's Iranian nuclear deal, right? So that's the overall conclusion of what I want to tell you guys tonight. Okay, and please remember what I told you guys about the fertilizer stocks, right? It's very basic supply and demand schematics, right? If you guys remember from basic economics class from high school, or even of course from college, right? It's very reasonable that this current Strait of Hormuz crisis is going to cause something like that, right? In the future, especially into the summer as well, when demand picks back up for fertilizers, and well, supply won't be there to meet it. Okay, and that's when prices will definitely skyrocket. Okay, and currently right now with MOS and even like I think CF, right? CF Industry Holdings. I think they moved down last week, and I think they're right back up though. Let me see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So I think right now, I think the market makers are really starting to see that as well. What I've just summarized with you guys as well too, with the supply shocks and the demand shocks that will eventually occur. So keep your eyes on that. Okay. Does this make sense? Are you guys keeping well with me? If you guys want me to go over fertilizers again, please let me know. All right. I can do the same thing with crude oil as well. Okay, because I know some southeastern countries, Asian countries, the ASEAN countries are already starting to ration their oil reserves and natural gas reserves and LNG reserves too, as they're kind of saying, hey, to people, to citizens that maybe you might want to work from home, maybe not try to travel as much, which is absolutely insane that we've come to the situation now where we formulated our own work from home economy and environment. Right? We don't even need a virus, right? We don't even need a deadly virus at this point now, and that's what Trump has done, including Israel, right? So again, if you guys disagree with me here, you guys have a political bias, right? This is clear, objective facts. Okay, I said this when I was disagreeing with Biden during his term, but these are objective facts. Okay, when I was talking about, I think if you guys, well, hopefully you guys remember, but I talked about it a lot in streams too, or any of my videos, that criticizing him about the current inflation and rates and etc. Right? So, these are objective facts, right? There's no way that you guys can just disagree with me, because if you do, well, that's politically motivated, unfortunately. Okay, so those are the facts. Okay, there you have it. All right. Okay, so with that being said, let me go over the stocks that I wanted to go over tonight, and that is, let me make sure my stream is still connected here. Yes. Okay. I think my audio has not cut off, right, guys? It's not on and off as well. It's not breaking apart, not thready. Let me know, guys, if it is. Please let me know. Anyone there? Am I good still with the audio? Anyone can let me know in the chat, even by just the reactions, or thank you, do nothing, you're good. Okay. perfect. Okay, so with that being said, let me go over IWM. Okay, so SPY, you guys should know what I'm thinking about SPY already, just based off of what I told you guys about the futures action and what I expect to see tomorrow. So again, for SPY, you guys I went over so many times kind of my future price path projections. I even showed it to you guys on yesterday, since today's Tuesday, but I almost thought it was Wednesday right now for a second, but here it is once again, right? We might just be moving sideways for this entire year, right? As market vol continues to stay relatively elevated, okay? So let's take a look at small caps, because I think small caps are definitely going to be another big picture idea for the rest of this year, especially as it just retested its daily 200 SMA. So small caps have been falling off because, well, inflation expectations have suddenly skyrocketed over 5%, and I wonder why that has occurred. Okay, so based on those expectations from consumers as well, okay, consumer expectations for inflation, that is yet another driver of inflation, if you guys forgot. I talked about that a lot in 2022. With inflation expectations looking to jump up to 5%, well, it is at 5% now, in the next 12 months, you know what else is going to, you know what other expectations going to go up as well, guys? Please let me know in the chat room. If the inflation expectation has skyrocketed to over 5% right now in the next 12 months, what other expectation is going to go up? Please let me know, guys, in the chat room. I know some of you guys know this. What has been the talk of the town for the last 5 years when regarding the labor market, inflation, price stability, and there's one more thing. It's regarding, I'll give you a hint, the Federal Reserve. Anyone want to guess in the chat room? I'll wait as long as possible. Let me know, guys. I'm gonna just sit here. Some of you guys have to know this. I'll wait for 30 more seconds. No, just don't just give me reactions. I want you guys to, I mean, thank you for clicking like as well. I think we're at like 6 likes. Make sure you guys hit that like button down below. Interest rates, guys, interest rates. Okay, so the expectations for interest rates have skyrocketed now too. And we haven't seen this in a long time. So it's not good. And so if the expectations of interest rates potentially going higher, so again, that basically means that there is a possibility in the next couple of FOMC meetings, maybe in the third quarterly or in third quarter's FOMC meetings, the Federal Reserve may have interest rate hikes on the back on the table once more. Okay, maybe once Jerome Powell is out and that new guy is in. Okay, he was a pal of Epstein's. I already forgot his name, but who cares about him, right? So, you know, I think it's dangerous here for small caps. I think we have this macro effect that is starting to, well, has clearly affected small caps and mid caps. Because this year was supposed to be, quote unquote, the year of the small caps and mid caps. Excuse me, guys. But unfortunately, this all went down. What I've just told you guys for the last, what, 30 minutes? Right, from the beginning to now, from everything that I've just told you guys, if you culminate into one entire thesis, well, small and mid caps are going to be having a lot of trouble getting into a new uptrend or even just gaining small amounts of upside momentum this entire year. Because if interest rate expectations have already risen, and they have, if you want to check, okay, do it yourselves. These are I've been stating all objective facts since the beginning of this stream. Again, if you're disagreeing with me with what I've said in the last 30 minutes alone, then you have a political bias there, which I can't help you with. Okay, I'm just saying the simple objective truth. So I think small and mid caps here again are going to be weighed down a lot. On the other hand, though, technically, this is looking okay still. We have yet to break below the daily 200 SMA. In fact, we just retested it and immediately snapped right back up higher, which is nice to see. And even today, thankfully, due to the overall market breadth and volume ratios hitting highs yesterday and today, intraday as well, during intraday action, we were able to see small and mid caps recovering quite well and actually closing a lot better compared to its counterparts like NASDAQ and the S&P 500, right? So I want to see how this continues tomorrow, especially with equal-weighted ETFs like RSP too. Okay, RSP, right? This is a pretty this one got pretty famous for some reason this year, but RSP has been doing extremely well too, and they've just pivoted off of the daily 200 SMA again, so that's nice to see. And we have seen some nice recovery bounces from some nice value names as well today too. So some very good sector rotations as well, and back into industrials, materials, utilities, right? Energy. Okay, so I think overall today was a good rotation day, a good way for people to take some profits into market strength, early into the day as well. We saw a nice hit of, I think, like 657, I think 657 around there. So yeah, so that's kind of it for my overall market analysis, and obviously the culmination of what I've explained so far with the current situation on the macros of the markets, and also the technicals of the markets here. So it's kind of combine those two together, and you guys can see why the markets are confused. I mean, the you know, with crude oil futures still basically recovering, and let me give you guys here. Oops, I hate that the TradingView has changed the order of this, but here it is. So SPY futures are still moving lower. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up opening up around $6,620, or maybe we actually open here, and then we push lower back down to 6,600. This is a huge level here. There's a lot of negative sentiment built around this level here, as you have seen, because that's where we saw a lot of selling going in on Friday of last week, which eventually led into that gap down open on Monday, but was immediately brought back up, right, by bids from buyers. So again, this 6,600 level is pretty key here, and I wouldn't be surprised if we retest it tomorrow, because the market really doesn't seem to be buying a lot of the fake pumps that Trump has been trying to do and orchestrate for his sons, right? Eric, I don't know, Donald Trump Jr. I think is his name. I don't even know his name, and Barron as well. So I know they joke about that all the time with Barron, but I really think he has been building up a huge portfolio thanks to his dad's fake news social platform. Okay, again, it's not true social. It has never been, but fake news social platform, and the corruption is blatant. Okay, and stock market makers are basically not believing that in that shite anymore. And yeah. Okay, does that make sense, guys? And again, for anyone who's just joining in, if you guys don't get to understand the context of what I'm saying now, please watch the replay. I gave you guys some really critical information that will be, trust me, it will be critical as we head into Q2 and into the summer months as well. Okay, especially when regarding the fertilizer stocks as well. Okay, so please watch the replay if you guys are just joining in now. And of course, if you guys are enjoying things, make sure you guys are hitting the like button down below. And if you guys are new here, my apologies if I was kind of shooting the shit here with the objective facts, but I just want to be as transparent as possible with the objective truth. So if you guys enjoyed that side of me tonight, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button as well. Alrighty, ooh, we're almost there at 10 likes there, and wow, it's a lot of I don't know who's just joined now, but hey, hello. Thank you guys for the what is it, emojis here. Okay, welcome in, guys, welcome in. There's a lot of people who are coming in late. Right, so let's talk about momentum holdings and the short that I initiated today at $800. Okay, so this one has actually pumped up higher after hours thanks to the overall markets, but this one is really extended now. I mean, maybe it goes to 1,000. That's when it decides to have a massive move lower, who knows, but I'm willing to take a bet yet again to the short side, because this, right, just take a look at this here. Let me give you guys a reason why I got in today. The volume today was dismal, yet we saw another higher high, and then eventually another new all-time high, right? And when it comes to stocks that have run so much in the last, what is it, last 6 months, I think? Yeah, last 6 months, last six to 7 months now, you kind of start to see the path of least resistance is clearly to the downside. Okay, and I have shorted this multiple times here, a few times here already. Okay, 1 out of 3 times I've won so far. You guys can see where I won, right? But the last 2 tries, well, I failed. I got kicked out. But this is my 4th try now, and hopefully I'm trying to make it 2 out of 4 win win to losses ratio there. Okay, so with LITE, okay, I don't really see more momentum coming in. Yes, we saw that massive volume, but this is just from OPEX. Okay, to remind you guys, I even said it in the CFO Swing Watch Reports market summary that most of the OPEX volume you can most likely just ignore. It'll be more important to focus on the macros. Feels like I'm talking about food or like a diet, but the macro factors and the actual price action, right? That is the live data that we're getting, and the feedback from market makers, right? From Mr. Market here. So with LITE here, the volume has been slowly dying, right? Yes, we did see a big move up in volume even before OPEX. Yes, we understand that. But when we start to see the average volume line coming up, and especially on a day like today, this is the first actual warning sign that we may be seeing a top being formed and potentially huge wide ranges that usually precede a major move back to the downside. Okay, so again, just like I've explained, I think that was in February now, right? I think early March. Yeah, it was late February. Yeah, I'm looking for that mountain peak on LITE. Okay, and eventually we can come back down to retest this 320.50 to 402 range. Again, massive range, but based on how this stock moves, a huge beta, right? It moves every single week about 100 points, okay, or about 90 points. Well, I would say 100 points in the last couple of weeks so far, but this is a parabolic move, and it makes sense for the price eventually to come back down to this previous consolidation range and kind of make a nice mountain peak, and eventually a little shoulder here, right shoulder, that eventually as the weeks and months go by, more sellers will start to pile in. And since there will be no buyers at that point, we'll be seeing the price breaking below 320.50. I've seen this pattern way too many times at this point. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm saying this with a lot of confidence, even though I've only been right 1 out of 3 times with the short here, obviously off of this candlestick, right, which is obviously a great trade. But I made sure to keep my stops very, very tight in the last 2, so I didn't lose too much from the profits that I made here in the very first short there on LITE. So let's hopefully it's not a 1 out of 4 win to 1 to 4 win to loss ratio there for this current position that I have with LITE on the short here. So again, I wouldn't recommend it if you guys are trying to short this one with option contracts, even with equity too, if you guys can't afford that leverage, or just, well, if you're in a short, yeah, right, just look at the share price. Okay, just look at the share price. All right, I don't think I have to explain it much further than that. I think the overall optics rally, this connectivity overall rally from the AI revolution that we're seeing now, it's now being a little bit overblown. Just like what we've seen today, I think I think it was like 2 hours ago it was 4 hours ago. We saw the official announcement from OpenAI that Sora is shutting down, and Disney has completely canceled its plan to invest $1 billion into Sora. Right, so they can use it in franchises like Star Wars and whatever that they wanted to use Sora for, right? So I'm glad Disney got out of that horrible deal with Sora, but Sora is officially shutting down, and those expensive as hell GPUs can be used for things that OpenAI's customers are currently using, which is like their chatbot, right? So, you know, I think even if you know, the chatbots are still kind of I think, and I'm saying that from an emotional perspective. Now, that's my own personal opinion. I try to use as less AI as possible, but unfortunately, there's a lot of AI results that come up on Google. I've been trying to turn off Gemini, but either way, regardless of what I just said there, I think LITE, the memory chip run, the optics connectivity run, it's about to end. I think I really think so, and I think even if I'm wrong by a week or month or so, I'm still gonna be right on that, right? This has gone parabolic enough. The fact that we made a new all-time high and a new higher high as well from the previous day's candlestick with such low volume, this tells me that something is off. Right, this is the very first official warning sign that we could be seeing potential price volatility on this name that eventually leads into a huge and wide volatile distribution phase that creates a topping pattern that leads into this quote-unquote mountain peak that I want to see forming. Okay, does that make sense? So again, let me actually draw it out here. This is what I see and what I've seen plenty of other times on stocks that gone parabolic and that eventually had their bubbles popped. Right, so I want to see something like this, yeah, right, and we come right back down and we make a nice little right shoulder, and then we kind of consolidate again around this area, and then we continue to move lower as buyers have completely lost control of the price, and they have lost interest, right? Because obviously all the interest was on this left side here. So now we have to build the right side of the mountain. Does that make sense? All right, so we're making this mountain peak, and then you make the next right side of the mountain. Does that make sense, guys? I mean, this is a quick technical lesson here. It's a very textbook parabolic short lesson here, okay? Wow, there's a lot of you guys in here tonight. Welcome, guys, welcome. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button too, not just that like button down there. But thank you guys. It's been a while since I've had a lot of people in here on a Tuesday night as well, since my stream schedule is usually Monday or Wednesday. So maybe I'll do another stream on Tuesday for next week too. But don't forget, tomorrow I'll be doing the regular stream as well. Okay, so I just want to do a quick impromptu live stream and go over my overall thoughts on what the Trump administration is doing in the Middle East and the reasons why the market is confused and what could lead us out of that confusion. Or I've talked about from the conflict that we have now to the potential resolution that we can have that will give us more clarity in the markets. So make sure if you guys just joined to watch the replay from the beginning to right around 35 minutes of the stream. Right? I would hopefully, if you guys are watching the replay, just watch from the beginning to the end. Maybe just have it playing on your background while you guys are cleaning or doing something. Maybe when you're driving, right? Just listening. So again, I think it's critical information that you guys should remember, and that's the reason why I really wanted to do this stream tonight. I want to give you guys this overall outlook, okay? Especially when it comes to the markets and when it comes to uncertainties and certainties as well. When to expect it as well too. So yeah. Hopefully you guys kind of like my rhetoric that doesn't tend to come out as often, which hopefully I can do more as the years go by here when we're currently dealing with this current crappy administration. So all right, well, I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys for even just joining in tonight on this impromptu stream. But yeah, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button down below if you guys really enjoyed what I had to say tonight. Most importantly, hopefully this information will be applicable tomorrow or the next week or the next few weeks or a few months. Alright, have a great rest of your night. Good luck tomorrow, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you so much for watching.